You're listening to AI Prism from Seoul Economic Daily.
If you hold Korean equities or an EWY position, yesterday's circuit breaker and today's 8% rebound just rewrote the short-term risk map. It's Wednesday, June 10th. Let's look at what this means for retail investors in Korea. The KOSPI collapsed 8.29% on Monday, triggering a circuit breaker. One day later, it recovered 8.18%, closing at 8,096, reclaiming the 8,000 level. The KOSDAQ also rebounded 6.19% to 967. Two catalysts drove the recovery: signals from Iran and Israel of a ceasefire intention, and a broad rebound in U.S. semiconductor stocks overnight. Here's what the numbers show. Samsung Electronics, which had dropped 10.18% the prior session, closed up 8.97% at 322,001. SK Hynix rebounded 15.91%, its largest single-day gain on record, closing at 2,215,001. Samsung Electromechanics surged 18.39%. The Volatility Index tells a different story. Korea's fear gauge, the VKOSPI, rose 19% to 91.23, surpassing the 89.30 peak recorded during the 2008 global financial crisis. That reading is the highest ever recorded. Forced liquidations are accelerating. Margin call selling totaled 300 billion won, roughly $210 million over 2 sessions. Outstanding margin loan balances remain near their peak at 37.8 trillion won, approximately $26 billion. Capital Group, a U.S. asset manager with nearly $3 trillion under management, quietly increased its stake in KT&G from 5.6% to 7.2% during May, purchasing shares in 33 separate transactions. So what does this mean for retail investors holding Korean equities? The VKOSPI reading above 91 is the key data point. Past episodes of extreme volatility, 2008, the 2020 COVID crash, and earlier this year, show the KOSPI typically rebounds over 30 trading days once the shock catalyst fades, but the path through is not straight. With 37.8 trillion won in leveraged positions still outstanding, any further downside will accelerate forced selling that individual holders cannot control. The SpaceX IPO, the U.S. May CPI print, and the next FOMC meeting are the 3 near-term events that will determine whether this week's stabilization holds. What to watch? U.S. May CPI release, due this week, which directly affects FOMC expectations. The SpaceX IPO pricing and first-day trading, which analysts say will drive flow back into semiconductor names if it underperforms. The VKOSPI level, a sustained drop below 60, would signal the volatility peak has passed. #KOSPI, that's today's AI Prism, retail investors. This episode was produced with AI assistance based on Seoul Economic Daily reporting and reviewed by a human editor. AI Prism is a Won IFRA award-winning series. We'll be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to AI Prism from Seoul Economic Daily.